السلام عليكم.
السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
How's
مساء الخير.
everyone doing? Ramadan Mubarak to everyone.
رمضان كريم.
سلام سلام رمضان مبارك.
إن شاء الله.
الله
رمضان
يبارك فيك.
How's
كريم.
everyone
رمضان كريم.
doing?
الحمد
Good.
لله.
Salam
Very good.
alaikum. How's
Alaikum
everyone?
salam. Alhamdulillah, doing very well. Glad to see your faces. It's been a while, truly. How's
Yes.
everyone
Yes, it
doing?
was
Good,
Hanging
good.
in there.
fine, excellent.
Good, good, good. First and foremost, I hope that everyone is safe with the things happening around us. That's the first thing that I wanted to start with before we go into the details. I know there's a lot of uncertainty happening around us. We're trying to prepare ourselves as much as possible, but first and foremost, your safety and your family's safety come first. So I hope everyone stays safe in these situations, inshallah, and hopefully everything ends soon.
Thank you.
So, a fair warning, today's call is going to have a lot of information. So at any point, any information that I share, you have any questions, feel free to stop me. I can emphasize things a bit more. We're going to be talking about everything related to the showcase and LEAP, logistics, what are things that are coming, what are things that you need to prepare for, what are some things that we will be sharing or already shared recently, etc., and all the important information. But before I start, I can see a couple of faces. I would like to see the rest of the faces as well. I know it's Ramadan and it's the afternoon, etc. But again, I always like speaking to faces rather than names, and I would really appreciate that. So, can you believe it that we are almost by finishing the cohort? It's almost going to be 6 months. It's been an amazing journey with you guys. I hope this journey was amazing for you as it was for us to get to know you and help you grow as a startup and grow as founders. But again, the showcase is just the beginning of the end. There's a lot more that are upcoming, post-program, etc. But today we'll be just focusing on the next 2 months approximately, or a month and a half, and the showcase event, etc. So a few important dates that I wanted to highlight. You might have already seen as part of the calendar on the Puri page, but I wanted to re-highlight them here today. As you know, the Investor Showcase will be taking place in KAUST on the 28th and 29th of April, to be exact, which is, I think, a Tuesday and a Wednesday. It's going to be on a one-on-one pitching basis where you will be pitching to investors and evaluations will be taking place. You are expected to arrive to KAUST on the 25th, which is a Saturday. Most flights will be afternoon, evening, because we will have pitch practice, as you can see here. Oops. As you can see here on the 26th and 27th. So you'll be with us for the whole week, but we'll have pitch practice for the first 2 days. Actual event will be Monday and Wednesday, and then we'll have a closing fun activity on the 5th day, which is Thursday. In terms of the public showcase, it's a public event. It's focused on as a public demo day where you will be pitching in front of investors, government entities, corporates, etc. In Riyadh, it will be taking place in the SAB HQ in Riyadh as well. And that event will also be live streamed online to online viewers and public audience in general to help expand your exposure to the ecosystem moving forward. That event will be taking place on a Wednesday, which is the 6th of May, the week after the investor showcase right away. So there is no gap between the two, just to help manage things a bit better, especially those who are coming from abroad. Going into the public pitch practice, we will have a pitch practice, same thing with the investor showcase, where you will have like a day on the 5th of May, the day before, at SAB HQ from 1 p.m. approximately to 8:30 p.m. We're going to simulate the whole event and how you're going to move on stage, how are things going to go. We're going to check your slide. You're going to be pitching. We're going to be providing any final feedback there and just tweak things and make sure that you are comfortable, you're happy with your slides, you're happy with your pitching structure, etc. In terms of pitch practice, as all of you might know, and we've seen a lot of you already, pitch practice has already started online since January up until April, where we have slots every Thursday. They are being booked via Calendly. At first, we said we wanted everyone to book a minimum of 4 slots. 3 slots should be focusing on your 3-minute pitch, while 1 slot will be focusing on your 2-minute pitch. We'll be opening 1 more slot for every startup after the investor showcase, before the public showcase, just as a final double check before we do the in-person pitch practice. These slots will open on a Sunday, Monday, which is the 3rd and 4th of May. It will be happening online. Same booking system as Calendly, so meeting you online, double checking your slides finally before seeing you in person the next day. You're expected to book only one slot. So we're going to be opening exactly at 20 additional slots for May, specifically for the public showcase moving forward. That doesn't contradict the first information mentioned above, which is 3 slots for investor pitch and 1 slot for the public pitch. This is just an additional slot that we're opening it for everyone. Bookings, before we used to say we prefer not the bookings to be on the same week because it gives you time to amend, structure things, take the feedback into consideration, etc., especially if it's design-wise, structure-wise, or script-wise. I know slots now are becoming very limited, so I don't think a lot of you have that courtesy anymore. We're going to have to see you book as much as possible and see you at a minimum of 4 bookings, please. I know there's a couple of startups that have not booked yet, and that is very concerning to me. So please be sure to book your slot as much as possible and as soon as
Actually,
possible.
Mariam, for this point, we don't find the availabilities. So how can we do?
Because March is fully booked. Other startups are booking while you are delayed. So that's why book any other near
Because I had,
available
for example,
slot.
for myself, I had an issue with
Yes,
the.
it happens. Some startups might have a bit of issues, but we have slots available in the month of April. So feel free to book any available slot moving forward.
Okay.
Okay. If you need additional slots beyond the pitch practice, meet with your mentor, meet with our pitching experts in parallel, and don't just wait for the pitch practice slots. That's the best way to go around that because we have, again, less than a month moving forward, and pitching is one of the crucial parts of your investor pitch and public pitches. Because again, we've been seeing you for the last couple of months and have seen the progress. But again, public audience is only going to see you for 3 minutes, 2 minutes in the public, and we don't want to put you at a disadvantage if you're not well prepared or well structured. Okay? It's all for
Okay.
your benefit. Going into the showcase targets. So for the investor showcase, we're estimating anywhere between 30 to 35 investors. The list of investors will be shared closer to the showcase. So for you to do a bit of your due diligence, create a target hit list of the few investors that you're interested in meeting, etc. Again, all of that will be shared earlier April, as soon as things are a bit more finalized and we have the final list ready. In terms of the public pitch, which will happen in SAB HQ in Riyadh, we are estimating anywhere between 100 to 150 people in person. So it's a bit smaller from the previous years, but it is more focused, meaning that there is no public audience or general audiences. It's a very targeted list of people that we think you would benefit from having in that public showcase, including corporates, governance, possible partners, investors that were not able to join in the investor showcase, etc. And of course, the public exposure piece will be happening online, where that public event will be live streamed online. And over the years, we've usually had maybe anywhere between 5,000 to 7,000 people actually tuning in online and watching you pitch and get to know the startups as part of our cohort. So it's a great exposure opportunity for you, everyone. We've already shared data, but I wanted to re-highlight things in terms of the structure of the investor pitch and the public pitch. As you know, investor pitch is 3 minutes. You'll have 10 minutes of Q&A with the investors afterwards. And this is where having an appendix is crucial in case if you want to walk them through additional details during the Q&A, etc. That's where you have that shot. It is an investor pitch. It's all confidential, so there's no public live stream there. All the investors will be signing a non-disclosure, not really non-disclosure, but kind of non-distribution of information. So don't worry about that in terms of the information being shared. Your team will answer the Q&A. One person should be pitching, but again, always have a backup. You never know what might happen on the day. We've had scenarios where the main person who's pitching had some cases where they got sick, they had an emergency, they had to leave. Always make sure that you have a backup person ready to pitch in your place in case the main person had to leave at any moment, because you never know what might happen. It's all in person, no online pitches are going to happen. At the moment, things might change any moment because the things that are happening around it, we still don't know. But at the moment, everything is going to be happening in person. Investors will ask and evaluate, and based on that, they will help us select the 10 startups that will receive the follow-on funding, which is $100,000 for each startup. In terms of the public pitch, 2 minutes. Again, the slides is going to be in PowerPoint format. It's more of a sales storytelling pitch. It's 2 minutes more focused on trying to explain what you're doing, what are your impacts, what is your growth opportunity as a company, etc. I would suggest, since it is being live streamed online, we always say have a call to action to those public audiences joining online. So whether it's a discount code, a way for potential customers to reach out to you, potential partners, etc., I would always have a call to action there. I would remove any explicit or confidential financial and fundraising information for the public pitch, again, because there's a live stream aspect of things. Just for you to remain comfortable on stage, make sure to just remove any information you're not comfortable with sharing. Amir, I see you have your hand raised.
I have a question regarding the investor's pitch. Is it
Sure.
recommended to have an appendix where we have extra slides for information?
Yes. Always recommend having an appendix slide where you would attach that on the same slide you're going to be submitting to us. After your closing slide, just have the remaining appendix slides there. So as you ask, you can go to these slides afterward. It shouldn't be a separate slide. It's the same slide you're going to submit with your pitching.
A second question regarding the format of the pitch, because my design team is telling me we cannot do a lot with PowerPoint, so it's better to have it PDF because exporting from Canva to PDF. So is it okay to deliver it as PDF?
You could, but again, we've had issues in the past where the transition is not very smooth. Sometimes there's a bit of technical difficulties. We always recommend to have it as PPT, but during the pitch practice days, I'm happy to try both formats for you and see what works.
So even if I send it as a PDF, you will convert it to PPT so
No,
that
we do not convert on your behalf. That's why I suggest have both prepared just in case. We'll try both just to see which one works. Because again, currently what works best on our systems is a PPT format. But again, we'll need to test out the PDF version to see if that works and if you're more comfortable with that. But all requires testing. Always be prepared with both.
Okay.
A criteria, as mentioned before, of course, investors is why now, problem, customer, solution, value proposition, your market size, a business model, team, revenue, fundraising, and use of funds. Especially, I've noticed, especially during the pitch practice, if you realize we've been asking everyone to have a fundraising slide and use of funds, even if you're not currently fundraising, or share some timeline. Again, because this is an opportunity where you're seeing 30 to 35 investors, if not more. So you don't want to close the door on yourself of you're not fundraising now, so that instantly pushes investors off, not wanting to continue the conversation, etc. Always make sure that you share the plan, share the timeline, and even if it's just in the next couple of months, be sure to disclose that as part of your pitch. Public, again, more storytelling. So why now, problem, customers, product, market size, competition, and team. This is what you need to focus on in terms of the public pitch. طيب. Now, in terms of pitching eligibility, a lot of you have been asking of if I don't get the follow-on funding in the investor pitch, am I still eligible to get it am I still eligible to pitch in the public? Yes. All 20 startups currently in the cohort, again, I repeat, all 20 startups currently in the cohort will be pitching in both the investor and public pitch, regardless of the follow-on funding result. Again, you are all our portfolio startup. You have made it past the boot camp. You are part of the accelerator. Clear? Thumbs up, reactions.
All clear.
Okay. If I see one more question asking, am I pitching in the investor show or the public showcase? I swear to God, I will send you this recording particularly. Okay. Again, but this is where a but happens. There are some possible cases which might disqualify you from pitching in both the investor and public pitch, and that completely depends on you. A few things is the low program engagement, meaning you have not booked a pitch practice at all up until now, and did not is not thinking of booking moving forward, because we are not able to put you in front of investors in the public if ourselves we have not seen you pitch. You're putting yourself at an advantage and you're putting yourself at risk there. Another thing, very low attendance in workshops and sessions. Again, all of this is for your benefit. So if there's low engagement in the program and low prioritizing the program elements, this is another thing that would possibly disqualify you. and not meeting with your mentor regularly, meaning that since joining the program, you've met with your mentor at a minimum of once or twice, which is quite low, because again, the suggested consistency is twice a month. And we've already been in the program for almost 4 or 5 months. So you should have maybe a minimum of 5 sessions already done with your mentor in terms of progressing with them, growing, etc. Again, our mentors are wonderful. They're there to support you. They're there to help you in terms of your growth. We also have experts. So even if your lead mentor mainly focuses on, for example, business development, general mentorship, and you're looking for additional mentors in fundraising and AI, etc., this is where the experts come into play if you want some specialized guidance. That doesn't mean that you should not meet with your lead mentor. It just means that you have additional resources available among all the other mentors, and you can book with other mentors as well. Okay? Clear. Everyone can pitch unless you have low engagement in the program elements that are mentioned right now. Going in terms of the Saudi mandate for the follow-on funding, as I mentioned before, it's 10 startups that will be receiving the $100,000 of follow-on funding. A couple of important information of what makes you eligible for that. This money will only be transferred to your corporate Saudi bank account and Saudi entity, not like the $40,000. As you realize, we've already transferred or in the process of transferring the 40K to whatever corporate bank account you have, whether it's in Saudi or outside of Saudi. But for the 100K, that will only be transferred to your Saudi entity, meaning from post showcase, which is the 6th of May, you have exactly 6 months to establish your Saudi entity and your corporate Saudi bank account in order for us to transfer this 100K to that bank account. Any delay without prior notification or justification will make you ineligible to receive the $100,000 that you received as part of the investor showcase selections. One thing that is happening this year, the announcement of the follow-on funding will be happening in the investor showcase and not the public showcase. So it will be happening right away. One thing that we recommend doing, since we will not be publicly announcing it online except after the public showcase, don't announce it yourself. We highly recommend to wait until our press release comes out so you can amplify the story from your end. If you announce a bit too early, it might slow down your traction, slow down the growth of the impact that you received. So just wait until we announce it ourselves as KAUST and as SAB, and you can help amplify the story from your end if you are part of the 10 startups receiving the follow-on funding. We would appreciate your coordination in terms of that. Okay, now going into the pitch submissions. As you know, we've mentioned that we have both rehearsals and the days of the pitches for both the public and investor pitch. This is why we created this format where you will be submitting your slides to us to prepare them as per your pitch order on the device for both the public and investor pitches. And this is why we request to have 2 slides per startups for both the investor and the public pitch. Meaning, so on the days, since we have the rehearsals happening on the 26th and 27th, we do require all the startups to submit their slides that they plan on utilizing for the rehearsals pitch. Meaning it should be the most accurate or most updated slides that you want to utilize, but maybe a few tweaks will happen post this session where you will make some amendments before you submit your final slides on the next day. So this is a format that we require in the submission. Everything will be shared via email, in addition to the links for Dropbox, where you will attach your PowerPoint formats and PowerPoint documents, etc., for your pitches. The format that we require you to name the slides is to follow this exact format, please. By pitching number, we mean your pitch slot. That is not going to be shared now. We will be creating a pitch slot for each startup of who's pitching first, second, third, etc. Based on that schedule, for example, let's say Curebionic is pitching in slot number 5. So meaning their naming format should be 5_Curebionics_rehearsal investor. This is the format that we require you to do. Okay. So keep in mind, sometimes the slot of where you're pitching in the investor showcase might be different from the public showcase. All the details of your exact pitch number slot will be shared soon, most probably no later than early April, first 2 weeks of April max. So first rehearsal slide, 25th of May at 5 p.m. And then the final slide, post your rehearsal on the first day, which is the 26th. You might have some final amendments based on the feedback from our team, mentors, and experts. And this is where we require you to submit your final investor pitch to rehearse one final time on the 27th. Again, format-wise, flow-wise, to make sure everyone is comfortable and everything is good. And also, if you plan on having any videos, any animations, please be sure to have that ready within the slide itself, because we'll test things out, see if we have any errors, if we need to go back to the drawing board and figure out a better way for the flow to happen to avoid any delays during your 3-minute pitch. And same thing with the 2-minute pitch. Public showcase rehearsals, 2 slides as well. We want the rehearsal slide to be submitted on the 4th of May. Same format, but this time you're going to change the naming instead of rehearsal investor to rehearsal public. And the final one is going to be final public rather than final investors. And depending on your pitch number, your startup name, etc. Because we've had in the past where startups share multiple versions of their slides that are not well named. And we had to use an older version just because our team got confused. Where one time we had, for example, final slide, inshallah. Final slide, inshallah ala khair. We don't know. Help us help you. Help us understand exactly what is your final slide by using the correct naming format that we shared with you. And with that, that's everything in terms of the pitch. And hopefully, if you follow all the following information, you will be pitch ready and you will be comfortable on the day as much as possible. Now, going into the next items, and I'll hand it over to Wasim after I go through the Linktree action items. One thing that we're going to do as part of the showcase as well, we usually create like a guidebook with all the startups information of our startups in the current cohort, and that guidebook is shared with investors, our corporates, our partners, that has all the information of our current cohort and highlights you. As part of that, we usually require the startups to create a Linktree with your information. Is anyone here not familiar with Linktree? It seems like all of you are experts, which is good. So we usually require that each startup creates one Linktree link using your name. So Linktree dash startup name. Don't use your first name, last name, etc. Because it's better for the Linktree to be named under your startup's name. Again, most updated name as much as possible. We suggest the following format that you add links for your website, social media, Q&A, pitch decks, whatever you want. Because these Linktrees will be turned into QR codes and will be added to the guidebook itself. So as investors are evaluating you, they can scan the QR code if they want to know more information about you, all the details, they want to connect with you after the showcase, all the details will be in that particular QR code. And it will be added as part of the form that Wasim will be talking about moving forward. I know sometimes it's very difficult for you to add or finalize the QR code, the details on the Linktree right now. For the moment, it's fine if the Linktree itself or the information on the Linktree is not complete. As long as that Linktree does not change, that will be turned into the QR code. You can always edit the information. You can edit the format, you can edit the design, you can edit whatever, as long as you don't change the link itself. Because that link will be turned into the QR code and will be sent for printing, and it's very difficult to update from our side. Okay, so for the time being, just an empty Linktree link with your startup name would be sufficient, and you can continue adding and amending the details on that same Linktree later on. Wasim, leaving the floor to you to talk about the guidebook details.
Thank you, Mariam. So after the meeting, we'll be sharing an email with you guys, which will contain the form, in addition to the existing information we have in our database. And the previous guidebook we did to give you a better idea on what to expect. As you can see, all the requirements are mentioned. It's going to be also mentioned as a mandatory aspect of the form. Some aspects are not mandatory. For example, for non-Arabic speakers, we will not be asking them to write an Arabic brief. We will do it on their behalf. It will be all clear once you receive the link. You're only allowed to do one submission per startup. Please ensure that the information is accurate before submitting. And ensure that you submit everything before the deadline, which will be the 9th of March, 12 p.m.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
Question,
Thank you.
Wasim.
Tell me.
When you say locations where you operate, do you mean here where our customers are, or do you mean where we have offices?
The main location of operation, the
Offices.
HQ, basically.
Offices.
HQ and offices, yeah. And for example, a lot of startups have a registration in Saudi, Jordan, and elsewhere, for example, Egypt, and offices there. That's what I would highlight. Customers, again, you could have customers all over the world, but you don't necessarily operate there. So I would focus on offices and HQ the most.
And HQ, if it's like Cayman or BVI,
No,
do we
I wouldn't.
mention no
No,
need, right?
I wouldn't do that. No, I would focus on
Okay.
offices on where your main team is, as the main countries of operation.
Got it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Just to highlight to what Wasim said, we already have majority of this information. So we're just asking for an update because a lot has happened for many startups since joining the program. Some of you have updated their names, updated their logo, changed their description, pivoted as well. So that's where your update from your side is crucial. But unfortunately, if you do not meet the deadline, our team will have to utilize the old information. And again, that's not beneficial for you, and that's why please help us help you. Okay. Amr.
Question on what do you mean by AI categorization?
Yes,
Second,
so
description length. Yeah.
yes, so it's three categories, which is AI enabled, meaning that you have some type of AI automation as part of your startup, but it's not your main value proposition or you're not AI focused. The other category is AI and machine learner focused, which means you are AI led startup. That's the main aspect. And the third category is basically you're not utilizing AI at any moment, which I don't think anyone is in that category. Majority of you are either AI enabled or AI and machine learning.
Okay.
Okay.
And the description length?
A description, I would say anywhere between 200 to 250.
Characters.
Yes, characters. Okay.
Okay.
As Wasim said, we'll also be sharing a copy of last year's guidebook to give you a bit of an idea of how that information is structured, just to help guide you towards writing your description. One final thing, that description will also go through our copywriters. So they will amend it and make it a bit more consistent among all startups. Make sure that it's in third person format and avoid utilizing we are the only startup, we are the most amazing startup. No, it's a description of what you do.
Cutting edge technology.
Yes, yes, and mention that. So as I said, just write it as much as possible, and then we'll go through our copywriters to make sure consistency among all startups afterwards.
Okay.
Okay, Abdullah.
يعطيك العافية مريم.
Yeah.
Regarding the AI categorization, could you
Yes.
please just re-explain the point? Because I'm just
Yes.
gonna try to explain, like, what we essentially do, because
Sure.
yeah.
Sure. So a lot of companies, they're either AI enabled or purely AI and machine learning. A good example of this, for example, Vitruvian, I would say they are AI and machine learning because a core aspect of their product is the AI system. It's not supplementary. It's not automating one part of the system or one part of the operations, but rather it's the core product of what they do. And without that AI element, they are no longer Vitruvian. That's the best way to put it. For you, Abdullah, it depends. Usually what you do offer is marketing optimization and all of that and tracking. So whether your product can proceed without the AI element, and it's not a core aspect of it, it's just an added value. That's where you are AI enabled and not corely AI and machine learning. Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. Thanks.
Okay. Another thing to mention, so you have approximately maybe a week between each the public showcase, the investor showcase and public showcase, and also information afterwards. One thing we always like to hear from the startups, you will have leads that will come out from the investor showcase. Do keep us updated. If you have any leads, anything that you want to mention, any continued conversation, we always like to amplify that story. We would love to co-announce with you. Just let us know, and we'll take that conversation from there. Going now into the complicated things of logistics and all of that. So, in terms of the investor and public showcases, we will be covering the investor showcase logistics and some part of the public showcase, and I'll go into the details. And if at any moment you have any question, please stop me here. So, as I mentioned before, investor showcase, you will be arriving on Saturday, which is the 25th, afternoon, evening, and you will be staying until the 30th, which is a Thursday. We'll be covering your stay at KAUST for that whole duration. And we'll be covering your transportation, gate pass, all of that to get you onto campus, leave campus, all of that. One thing to note, some startups might be wanting to arrive earlier, meaning that if you arrive earlier before the 25th and you will be staying in Jeddah before then, will not be covering transportation for that period, but we'll cover transportation from the location to Jeddah when you want to come to KAUST, and then when you want to leave to KAUST, even if it's not necessarily the airport, it's just to and from KAUST transportation. Similar like we did during the Jumpstart Week. Same exact format. So if you came earlier, we're going to have a pickup from the co-working space. You can go from the co-working space and ride with the other startups. If you decide to come by yourself, you can park at the visitor center. You already have the details of the car transportation entities that you can book a car and go into campus. Usual, like we did for the Jumpstart Week. Two founders, it's not two startups, two founders per startup in terms of logistics for both public and investor showcase. Clear so far in terms of the investor showcase? Okay, perfect. Now going into the public showcase, and then we'll go into the flights. One thing that we are recommending for the startups, we'll be covering 3 flights per founder within the startup, meaning that we do recommend that when you come from your home city or wherever to Jeddah, you would go directly to Riyadh. Again, it's only maybe 2 or 3 days that you would spend in Riyadh, but you can utilize that time before the public showcase to do some further business development, further investor communication. You're already there. It makes sense for you to go directly to Riyadh. But that period, before the rehearsals and days, we are not covering accommodation. So we will be responsible to cover your accommodation for maybe 4 days at a max. Before the hotel for the rehearsal and showcase will be available. So going into the days that we're covering hotel, the 5th of May, where the rehearsals are happening from 1 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And then the showcase day itself, which the event is estimated to start at around 5:30 p.m. up until 9:30 or 10 p.m. that day. And then you would check out of the hotel by the 7th of May before the afternoon. So meaning a 2-night stay during the public showcase. Hotel is still not confirmed. As soon as we finalize that hotel details, we'll be sharing it with you as part of your logistics information email. Transportation will not be covered at all in Riyadh. Since it is not an isolated area, there is Ubers, you can rent a car, you can carpool with one another however you want. Transportation will not be covered for Riyadh at all. So you'll be responsible to arriving at the event location, leaving the event location for both the rehearsal, hotel, showcase days, etc. In terms of the flight, these are the options that we suggest that you follow. Again, we'll be covering 3 flights in general per founder, meaning that we'll get you to Jeddah and then leave Jeddah to either going back to your home city or country, or from Jeddah to Riyadh. So either or. But if you decide, for example, to go from Jeddah to your home city, you would be responsible to cover one of the flights as part of flight 3. So for example, we might cover your flight from your home city to Riyadh again, but you're responsible of taking yourself back from Riyadh to your home city, etc. So you can see the options below of either or, which flights you prefer. That's why we always suggest the best route and the easiest way is home city, Jeddah, Jeddah, Riyadh, Riyadh, home city, just to make things as smooth as possible and for you to utilize the time in Riyadh as much as possible. Okay. As soon as you finalize the public showcase logistics form, which I believe has already been sent, we really appreciate if you can submit all the details at a maximum by tomorrow. I know things might change, but submit the most accurate details. What will happen before we do the final booking is we're going to share all the details that we received with you guys and confirm before we do the final booking. We will have a deadline of when you need to do a final confirmation. If a confirmation or update happened before that deadline, we're able to amend things before we proceed the bookings. But if you did not confirm or get back to us, we will proceed with the information we have, and any modifications, cancellations, or rebooking will be directly paid for by you as the startup. Clear? Okay. We
Question,
mentioned,
Mariam.
yes, Jawad.
I think I misunderstood when I filled the form. The deadline was yesterday. Can I just refill it now in light of this information?
Yeah, sure. Feel free to refill it and just mention in the notes that this is the most updated form and please follow the information there. Okay?
Got it. Thanks.
Abdullah.
Yeah, so a quick question regarding the flights. So let's assume I'm gonna go with the second option. I'm gonna go from Dammam to Jeddah, Jeddah to Dammam, then from Dammam to Riyadh. It's written here that we need to be at in May 5th to just kind of do the rehearsal. Will the flight be beforehand on the 4th, or will we?
No, it will be most probably on the 5th in the morning.
Got it. Okay, great.
Yes. So you can do two options, Abdullah. Either you book your flight from Dammam to Riyadh, and then we book your return from Riyadh to Dammam, or you tell us, no, I want you to book my arrival and I'll book my return.
Makes sense, yeah.
Okay. But again, because hotel is only covered on the 5th, so we would recommend not coming on the 5th in the early morning, so possibly like an 8 or 9 a.m. flight, just to make sure that you have enough buffer time to come on the 5th of May, where we'll start sharply at 1 p.m.
Sounds good.
Mariam, can I please just ask the question over here as well with regards to the organization? For the hotel, the 30th of April, we're going to be checking out on the 30th, right?
Correct.
Okay, so we're not going to be checking in CAF, so we won't be checking out on the 1st. We'll have 30th will be our last day at the investor showcase, as well as it will be the last day on the hotel. So we need to get our flights for the 30th of April from wherever we're going. Okay, I will then also update my form as well.
Sure, yes. The last day for the hotel is the 30th. The good thing is, as part of the agenda, which will be specified in the Puri page as well. So the actual showcase or investor demo days is actually the 28th and 29th. Where you'll be divided in either Group A and Group B. Group A meaning you'll be pitching on the first day, which is the 28th, and Group B meaning you'll be pitching on the 29th. That's how you're going to be divided. So you're not going to be pitching on both days. It's either or. But all the startups are going to be there during that time. But the last day of pitches and follow-on funding announcement is happening on the 29th. The 30th, we're going to have a nice closure activity in the morning and afternoon, which I would say we would finish by around 2 p.m. on Thursday, which is the 30th, which gives you a bit of time to leave later in the afternoon or evening on Thursday. You get what I mean?
Yes, clear.
Okay, good. Okay, so I know there's a lot of information. So the recording of this session, the slides, action items will be updated. Emails will be sent if you have not received them already. If at any moment you have any questions in terms of the guidebook information, feel free to reach out to Wasim. In terms of the logistics form and logistics details, please make sure to reach out for Sahal. Investors, reach out to Wajdan in case of all of that. General information, reach out to any of the TAQADAM team members. We're happy to support and guide you. In terms of any questions or inquiries that you may have. We just want to make sure you have the most accurate information and most updated information as much as possible. Hudayfa, tell me before I go into the action items.
Yes, I just have two questions. First is regarding the LEAP conference. We already submitted the details before the deadline for the LEAP conference. I got some questions from the LEAP team, but I haven't gotten a confirmation. Does part of being part of TAQADAM automatically qualify us for the LEAP conference, or do we wait for the confirmation from the team?
No, you have qualified. So if you submitted, you qualified. I'm going to talk into LEAP a little bit further. So I'll share with you the details and how each startup is divided per day a bit further on. Okay, so I'll get back to you on that question.
Okay, and does that mean we also get qualified for the rocket pitch competition, or is that only for?
No. Yeah, you automatically, as TAQADAM, you qualify directly for the booth. The rocket fuel competition is completely with the LEAP team. When that will be announced, I'm not sure whether it was announced or will be announced soon, but we don't have any hand in that. As long as you submitted within the timeline that we shared via email, They're going through an analysis and evaluation process on whether you make it to the rocket fuel competition or not. I can
think
ask.
they've already
Sent it out?
sorry, apologies. Yeah, we heard back from Rocket
Okay.
Pitch I think a week ago.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if everyone else has
Yes.
either, but I think they have made decisions.
Yes. So I would check your email. It seems like they've sent it out maybe a week ago. So possibly if you didn't receive an email, maybe you did not qualify. I would send an email to Leap team just to clarify as well. Again, because I really don't have much clarity on that. It's fully managed by Leap. But booth, if you submitted the form, you automatically qualified for the booth. Okay.
Sounds good. And last question, is there a timeline on the 40K investment?
Yes. So if you've received already, as I mentioned on Discord today in the morning, if you've already received your vendor registration number from our vendor registration team, funding request has already been shared with our accounts payable team, which will take possibly maybe a week or so for it to be processed. If you're still in the process of finalizing your vendor details, I know there's a lot of back and forth between you, Sahel, and the vendor registration team, some of you, in terms of details of the company, bank information, name, beneficiary name, etc. So that will take a bit longer. But if you've received the vendor number email, it's already been sent for processing. It's just a matter of time.
Sounds good.
Okay?
Thank you.
No worries. So in terms of action items, all the details of the action items will be added as part of the Puri page under action items. So be sure to check that out. A few things that I wanted to reiterate. Pitch practice sessions. We only have a few slots remaining. I believe March is fully booked. We have slots in April. And we'll open 2 more days in May for
There is
particularly
only one slot left for it.
in April.
One slot left. Only
In
one
April.
slot left. Yes.
In April.
It is
Then,
on the 16th at 1 p.m.
okay.
for
Then we'll
everyone.
double check that. If we're able to open more slots, we'll let you know. But if not, I would book directly with your mentor, Rafiq, to focus on your sessions. Book with the pitching experts as well, just to help manage things accordingly. Because again, it's very difficult for us to add additional slots. And also, if you book a slot, please make sure not to book and not come or cancel last minute, because you are taking slots from other startups, and that's unfair. Okay? Make sure for the slots that you book, you commit to the time and arrive on time, please. Okay?
Sorry, one last question here.
Yes.
For the Leap conference, the startup and scale up program is different from the Rocket Pitch program, or is that the same thing?
I think the rocket pitch is a competition itself. The other is mainly just for exposure. Some they have multiple side events where you pitch in front of investors, etc. But I don't think there's like monetary awards. Not like Rocket Fuel. Rocket Fuel has a monetary award. Details of that, I think everything is available on the website. If you want to read particularly on what's happening, what are the details, I would refer to Leap website for the most accurate information on that. Okay.
Thank you.
And then we'll also be sharing another Calendly link for you to book the additional pitch slot focused on the public pitch in May, which is the 3rd and 4th of May. We only require you to book one session, so we're opening 20 slots exactly, so be sure to book one slot and not take more than that. In terms of meeting your mentor, time is ticking, program is almost done. Be sure to meet with your lead mentor, meet with experts, book slots, help your startup grow, all of that. We only have 2 more workshops remaining in April. So we have the taxation and reporting in KSA. This is most beneficial to the international companies or those who are just starting to report tax, zakat, etc. So if that session fits your criteria and you're international and expanding into Saudi, highly recommend joining. If you're already based in Saudi, already has an accountant, etc., feel free to skip this one. It's totally fine. And then we have the fundraising and investment toolkit. This is beneficial to all startups. It's going to be focusing on how to talk to investors, how to manage the conversations, how to manage the deal flow, all of that. And it's going to be given by Abdurrahman Al-Jifri, which he is a partner at 500 Global and has great advice on how to navigate that conversation completely. I mentioned the logistics form. The final deadline is going to be tomorrow. So please just be sure if you want to update details, amend things moving forward, submit it by tomorrow. And then you'll receive another email to confirm the details before final booking and amendments. Guidebook, the deadline is going to be Monday, where a form will be sent by today, inshallah, for you to fill all the details on all your requirements of your startup information. By the end of the call, I'll also show you last year's guidebook to help give you a bit of an idea, which will also be shared via email. And I'll also share with you a couple of Linktree links from startups that they've done last year that I saw were interesting and you can take some inspiration from. Abdullah, I saw your hand was up previously. Do you have a question there?
Yeah, so just to follow up on your conversation with Hudayfa, you told him like sort of like if you got the email confirmation from Ariba, that means like the payment just been processed. We received an email like I think maybe 2nd of February. Is there like should we reach out like back if we just to kind of like avoid any potential issues, or that means like okay, it's still
No, so
under
it depends on
processing?
what type of communication you received from Ariba. So Ariba, as soon as you received, the first information is for you to fill your details. The information that I'm talking about was in terms of you receiving your vendor number details from Ariba, plus you would receive an email notification from our accounts payable that funding has been transferred. Did you receive your vendor number, Abdullah, or not yet?
We just kind of, to be honest, I'm not exactly sure if this is like
Okay.
what you mean, but we received like an approved email from Ariba. I
Okay.
assume there's like a follow-up email from, you said like
Okay.
the account receivable or
Accounts
just
payable. Accounts payable.
account payable, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And from there, that just kind of confirms the
Yes.
the
Yes.
the processing. Okay,
Exactly.
makes sense.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Perfect.
Just to be on the same page, we just received a congratulations email saying your supplier registration was approved, but not the payables or the number details.
Yes. So if your supplier registration, it means you have a vendor number ready. They might not share the information yet, but it means you have a vendor number. And we've sent payment in 2 batches, depending on the startups and how they finalize. So we already sent batch 1 and 2. We're only pending batch 3 with a few remaining startups. Maybe we have I believe 4 out of 20 that are still not been processed. The rest have already been sent out for payment. As soon as Sahel is back, he'll be sharing more details of it has been sent, all the information is correct, and we'll also be sharing with you a proof of funding letter, because I know a lot of companies, especially your international banks, might flag amounts that are coming into your bank without proper authorization. So this letter kind of specifies that what is the source of the funding, why are you receiving this funding, and from whom, just to help navigate through that and avoid it being sent back to us or rejected by your bank. Okay. Okay, now going into Leap, which you had more questions on that, Hudayfa. As you know, Leap is 4 days, but we'll be dividing startups on 2 days for each, on 2 days for the duration of the 4 days. So the way that we divided it, I know we sent you a form of which days you prefer. So we took it on a first come, first served basis. Those who submitted the form first, they received the dates that they want. Others took the other availability in terms of dates. So it's going to be very hard for us to change the information because again, first come, first served basis. Best thing to do in that case, if you need to change your date, feel free to coordinate with one another. So for example, if you find out that I actually prefer the second day while another startups prefer to do the first day, feel free to coordinate with one another, utilize Discord, WhatsApp, whatever format you want amongst yourself, agree on how you want to switch days and just be sure to inform us. Okay? So it's going to be purely as per your negotiation amongst each other. In terms of logistics, no logistics will be covered for Leap at all from our end. The only thing is you should have received maybe a QR code or receiving a QR code of your entrance into the conference itself. And the way that the booths are divided is we're going to have a full cast pavilion where all the startups that are related to TAQADAM are going to be under one slot. So you won't be individual startups like the regular startups booths that are not related to a certain program. It's going to be under our cast pavilion. Arib?
Yeah, Mariam, do we need to look after or take care of the like printing of banners or stalls for a booth?
Yes. So printing banners, no. Most probably everything is going to be pre-allocated. And the way that the booths are going to happen, it's going to have a screen. So this is where the bottom side of where each booth is going to have a screen or the booth will have multiple screens. I would just say prepare some content in a USB. So you can add it as part of that screen, but no need to print like a banner itself. If you want to have some pamphlets, some giveaways to people who meet your booth, you will have some space on the booth itself, but no need to print stickers to add to your booth.
Thank you.
Okay. Because again, you don't want, especially if you're on the first 2 days, you don't want to add something permanent on the booth where the next 2 days another startup will be utilizing your booth and hence it will have your logo on it. So everything is it should be digital, more preferably, I would say. Abdullah?
Would it be okay if we have like some sort of demo like on the screen? Like I'm not really familiar on like what is the format, but
Yeah,
okay.
I would say a regular movie format or a PPT should work on screens usually. So again, you could get your laptop, get multiple formats. On the day, we can test things out and see what works, what doesn't, etc. But it's going to be like a regular screen.
Got it.
Okay. Another information, if someone has not been to Leap over the last 3 or 4 years, the location is in Malham, which is around an hour away from Riyadh without traffic. Sometimes it takes a bit longer. Last year, it has been a lot better with a maximum of an hour and a half until you enter the conference. Again, highly recommend to carpool with one another, communicate, see if you can hitch a ride with one another. There's also, I believe, Leap offers bus shuttles from maybe 2 or 3 locations around Riyadh. Feel free to visit their website and read more about their bus shuttle timings, locations, etc. if you want to utilize their shuttle buses. So this is the division of the days where we have 14 participating startups in the Leap. You're divided as 7 startups. This is the schedule. Again, no amendments from our side. If you decide to make any changes, agree amongst each other and just make sure to inform us so we have the most accurate day distributions on the days. Okay? So, a lot of you might be asking, okay, that's quite a lot of information. What's next for me? I finished the showcase. I'm attending Leap. I got the information of what's happening. I'm moving forward. It's the end of May. What's next for me? So you are still a TAQADAM startup and a CAUST portfolio startup. You are still part of our portfolio, and a lot of things are still accessible for you guys by being part of that portfolio. So meaning that you would still have access to the co-working space in Jeddah. You have access to all the details of the perks and discounts on the perks page. We also have a few availabilities with a few internal mentors that you can still meet and book with. Again, it is a much smaller list. So that's why we are recommending to utilize the existing mentors and experts at the moment, because not all of them will be available by the end of the program, which is, I would say, the first week of May would be the last time where you would be able to book with these specialized mentors and experts. The remaining mentors will most probably be our internal EC team that will be able to guide you a bit further. And with that, do you have any questions for me? Do you require any clarifications, any further details? Rida?
Yes,
Thank you.
I think
شكرا لك يعطيك العافية.
you mentioned regarding the first and second day, third and fourth day for the startups. So those who in the third and fourth day, they can join in first and second day. Is there
For what exactly? Is it the showcase or Leap? I'm a bit confused.
No, I'm talking about Leap.
Leap. Yes, so your badge gives you entrance to all 4 days.
I'm talking about under the CAUST place. Is there something shared area we can attending the 4 days there or?
So Leap is a huge conference. It's your badge that you get as part of a Leap will give you entrance to the conference for all 4 days. Booth-wise, you would only have a booth on the days that you're assigned. We don't have like a common area under our booth. Of course, feel free to pass by. Feel free to network with your fellow co-founders from the cohort, etc. But you will not be assigned a booth on your not assigned day. And we don't have like a lounge area as part of that booth. But a lot of things are happening around Leap. You might be pitching in the rocket fuel. You might have a meeting with an investor as part of the networking, etc. So feel free to be available during all 4 days. And feel free to manage your time then. As long as you are at your booth during your assigned days, that's all that matters to us.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Miriam, just on this, based on what Reza also mentioned.
Yes.
So in the email, I think, or was it a presentation? I think I can't remember quite exactly, but you had mentioned that there was access to like some sort of investor lounge and all of that.
Yes.
And there was a few other perks associated with the registration that CAUST and TAQADAM are going to do on our behalf. Those are still accessible, barring the booth, right? So the booth is the only tangible thing which is exclusive for the 2 days that we've been assigned. But regardless, all the other benefits and perks associated with the participation, they are still going to be active
Yes,
for us on the 4 days.
exactly. And that's why some startups prefer to attend all 4 days and divide their time accordingly.
Mhm.
The best way to do it, I know they usually have an app, a Leap app, where you're able to book meetings as part of the one-on-ones in the investor lounge, etc. So I would really recommend visiting the website, downloading the app, and navigating through that. Any questions that you have around what's happening around Leap, the best point of contact would be the Leap team themselves. I believe they have like a chat or like an email for startups or general. I would highly recommend emailing them all your inquiries.
Okay, perfect. And just one last thing. I think this has to do more with TAQADAM's booth. The
Yeah.
people standing on the booths, are they supposed to be just the founders that TAQADAM is like the booth that TAQADAM is sponsoring, but can it be someone else than just the founders as well?
Yes, it can be. And that's why we asked you as part of the LEAP registration
Yeah.
form who will be standing at that booth. I always
Mhm.
recommend you can go on rotation because it is quite a long day. I would recommend you can have like an employee, but it's good to have some presence with the founders
Yeah,
on the booth.
definitely.
Especially
Definitely.
that we have like a good prime location around the investor lounge, etc. So you'll be able to catch a lot of people within that. And it's easier
Mhm.
for people to navigate you as being part of TAQADAM by being under that pavilion. But again,
Mhm.
yes, definitely you can have employees that can stand on the booth with you, etc. That's totally fine. As long as, just as I said, you mentioned it as part of the form, just because our team will be there on the days as well. We just want to
Mhm.
know who will be standing on the booth and who do we need to communicate with on the days.
Okay, perfect. And the other team members, like who are going to be standing in the booth, maybe do we have any sort of cap on how many we can bring with us?
Again,
Or
because you need to keep in mind that the booth is not that big. Again, you have like be conscious of the stand size because the booth it consists of 20 to 30 other booths for programs including TAQADAM, ScaleX, and Next Air that are all under the CAUS portfolio. So just be conscious not to try to take too much of the space and possibly take area from the other founders, etc. So I would say ideally would have two, and then maybe a third person could be in rotation. That's the best way to do it. More than that is going to be a bit congested.
perfect. And I assume that the addition, the miscellaneous person that we're bringing with us, they're also going to have the same badge and everything. Like they're also going to have the same.
They have to register. That's why when you filled the form, did they register or not?
Yes, I think they did.
Yes, if they did not, I would suggest for them to register as an attendee, and then they join the booth just as an attendee. That's totally fine. I believe
Perfect.
Leap has like a registration, general registration that they can utilize.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
No worries.
And if
No
in case
worries.
you want to share any update or details, just be sure to share any Leap information with Sahel. So just we make sure we have the most accurate information. Okay. So
Okay.
Sahel, any update in terms of Leap, showcase, investor showcase logistics, Wasim in terms of your guidebook details, all of that, Wajdan, investors, TAQADAM team, all inquiries, catch all.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay. With that, I know we're going a bit over time because I know now it's 4:05. So I want to open up the floor for questions before I share the guidebook look from last year, just for you to get inspired a bit more. And I'll share with you also a couple of samples of the link trees. All good? Good? Okay, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Okay, I'm glad. I know that was a lot of information. So I'm glad everything is clear.
ما قصرت يعطيك العافية.
ولا. طيب. Going into the guidebook. So this is last year's guidebook. It kind of gives you an idea of TAQADAM, the program itself, and the startup's information. Then each startup has their own individual page. You can see this is where you see their description, the names. And that's why we asked for headshots, name, first name, last name of all the founders and their titles. Again, we would recommend to only add founders in the guidebook itself. You would add your countries of operation here. We would also add your industry, AI categorization, and seed stage. And this is where the link tree will be turned into a QR code with your logo inside of it. And this will be scanned and can take you to your link tree where you can see additional information. You can see each startup has their own individual page. So it's a great way to share information, highlight things to investors, partners, etc. Going into the link tree, this is a couple of examples of a few link trees from last year. You can see they usually have like a book a meeting with me link where it takes them to a Calendly, HubSpot link, whatever. It includes some details in terms of website, contact information, LinkedIn, YouTube. Some founders usually add, for example, I believe Navatech added like a video, they added their pitch deck, they added FAQs and contact us. So it's really up to you to customize your link tree however you see fit and what information you want to share. At the moment, you don't need to fill all the details before you submit the guidebook form on the 9th of March. All we need is this link, and it can be completely empty. And then when we turn it into a QR code, as we approach the showcase, just be sure that you add the details in the link tree, which you have access to completely and edit things however you see fit. Another nice example, for example, a 2-minute video, you can WhatsApp the founders, you can book a demo, and how you can connect with the startup, etc. So these are a couple of samples that you can see from the startups, and again, completely up to you on what you see fit and what you want to add as part of your link tree. Okay. Alas, this is all the information that I have. Again, I'll remain on the call if anyone has any final questions. At any moment in the next couple of days, if any further questions came up, feel free to reach out to us on Discord, email. Feel free to ask each other. So if one information is missing, if it took us a bit of time to reply to you, feel free, please, you know the answer, reply to one another. Again, you are part of the same cohort and same portfolio, and you're there to support each other. So try to utilize that as much as possible. And with that, know that our team is trying as much as possible to make this journey as smooth as possible. So all we require is just good communication from your side, consistency in terms of booking, consistency and updates and deadlines, etc. Just to help us help you as much as possible. Because again, we're not a big team. We're a team of 4 people handling all of that. And we really appreciate your patience with us, and we appreciate your cooperation. Okay.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Best of luck, guys, and hope you
Thank you
have a
so
great
much.
remaining of your day.
Thank you so much.
And
Take
enjoy the rest of
care.
your evening as well.
Thank
Thank
you
See you
so
soon.
much.
Thank you.
Bye.